Pattern papers. They're beautiful. They can turn any project into something fabulous. And we paper crafters all have something in common when it comes to pattern paper. Scraps. Hi, I'm Linda Anderson from LindaLouCreates.com, and I'm here to show you a quick and easy way to use up some of your scraps. This is the card I'm going to show you. I have a couple versions of it here, and these are the scraps then that we're going to use up, and I'm going to show you how. Let me start off first with the supplies that you're going to need to create this card. First of all, your card base. I happen to have Grapefruit Grove here. This measures 5.5 by 8.5, and it's scored and folded at 4 1/4. 2 pieces of Whisper White. You have, and they measure at 5 1/4 by 4. This piece is for the inside of your card. This piece I ran through the Big Shot with an embossing folder. Add some nice visual texture for that. You're going to need another piece of cardstock. This measures 4 by 2 1/4. Now this is for the sentiment here. This strip of Whisper White coordinates with my stamp set, and it is called Life is Grand. I'm using this Make-A-Wish stamp, and my paper was cut to fit that stamp. So it is 3 5/8 by 1 7/8. Then a mat that is 1/4 of an inch bigger at 3 7/8 by 2 1/8. Then you're going to need your strips of DSP, your scraps. These measure 1 by 4, and as you can see here, you're going to need 4 strips of those. Also, one more piece of Whisper White, and this measures 4 by 4. What we're going to do is take our 4 strips of DSP, our 4 scraps here, and adhere them to this 4 by 4 strip of paper. I like to use liquid glue for this step here. Just don't use a lot. A little bit of this goes a long way, but it gives you a little bit of extra wiggle room when it comes to putting this down. So let me start. And all you're going to do is just line up your first strip at the bottom of your 4 by 4 Whisper White. And then, yep, you guessed it. The next strip will go right up against it, and you'll continue to do this with all 4 pieces. Okay, so you will end up like that. I happen to have a piece that I already made up with some scraps, so I have my 4 strips of 1 inch by 4 inch pieces of DSP. Pull out your paper trimmer now. What we're going to do is cut this in half. So at 2 inches. This way I'm going to be able to get 2 cards out of this one strip here, this one piece. So at 2 inches, and there we go. There are my 2 pieces for my 2 cards. Okay, let me set that aside. And I'm only going to work with one of these at the moment. But what I'm going to do now is adhere this strip that measures 2 by 4 to this piece of lemon lime twist that I have cut at 2 1/4 by 4. So the top and bottom line up with each other, but the sides you have a little bit of a margin there for that. Okay, now this will now go on to my piece of Whisper White that I had embossed. So I'm just going to turn it. It's just easier for me to see it. So let me line that up. And there we go. Okay, this, I'm going to go ahead and put this down to my card base. Okay, I'm actually going to use glue on this. I don't know why I prefer using the liquid glue when I have the embossed paper to attach to. I just feel like it just gets into those nooks and crannies a little bit better and adheres better. So So I will go ahead and attach that down to my card base. Okay, next, let's do a little bit of stamping. So, like I said, I have the Life is Grand stamp set, Make-A-Wish, and I have the Balmy Blue ink. So let me pull out my piece of Whisper White for my sentiment, ink that up, and we'll line it on up and stamp it on down. Now what's nice about this stamp set is, as you can see, there's some highlights in there, and it's not that you inked it up wrong. That's the way the stamp is created, so it really gives a nice dimensional look to that sentiment. Now this will get attached to the layer here of Balmy Blue, and then dimensionals will get put on the back of this. You know what, I already have that done. I already made up one like that with the dimensionals on the back. So I can go ahead now and get this ready to pop down onto my card base. Yes, I like lots of dimensionals. And there again, by putting it onto the emboss layer, I just feel like a few more dimensionals certainly don't hurt because of that unevenness of the embossing. So let me go ahead and pop that down. Now I also went ahead, there's the stamp set inside this set that continues on, Make-A-Wish and Enjoy Your Day, Happy Birthday. So I went ahead and stamped that ahead of time, and I even had another little strip here. I don't even know what it measures. It was just happened to be in my pile of scraps, and I just attached that then to the inside. So one more piece gone out of my scrap pile. So does a pile of scraps of DSP ever go away? I don't think it does, to be honest with you. So we will go ahead, let me get that put on the inside. I find myself always in need of birthday cards, so I always find myself making those a lot. Okay, next, a little bit of embellishment, and I'm using the Gingham Gala adhesive back sequins. Give them an extra little squeeze on there. That way when you go to pop them off, that'll be sure that that glue dot that they're attached to sticks on. So I find that useful. So I'm only going to put on 3. I like my rule of 3. And there it is. There is our card. And remember, because you cut it in half, you have another strip that you can make another card with it. So that's what I did here, was make obviously a couple cards using the 2-inch strips of the Designer Series paper layer that I created. Let me show you a couple more cards that I did, and just using different papers. This one happens to be from the Brights collection of DSP, and that's fun too. Like I said, I do need a lot of or use a lot of birthday cards. Now, as you know, remember, this was a 4x4 piece that we created here with our strips of DSP. You can also cut it down into 1-inch strips. That way you'll make 4 cards then using that piece. And I happen to have already sent out the other 3 that I made using this, but I wanted to show you what it looks like having a 1-inch strip then of DSP. So I made sure I saved that and did that one. So this is the Happiness Blooms paper, and so don't worry if you missed out any of the measurements of these cards. They can be found on my blog, lindaloucreates.com. You'll find the link in the description below for my blog. There, take a moment, look around. You'll see all kinds of projects with measurements and product links provided. I also offer monthly online classes, and details can be found there once again at lindaloucreates.com. So have yourself a wonderful day today, and hope you find some creative time to use up your scraps. Thanks so much.